Good morning, Converter Crew, and welcome back for our live stream today. Hope you all had a good Monday or Tuesday, and are ready for some more trading on Wednesday. Had a nice drop yesterday. Kind of dropped out of our levels like we were calling yesterday on the live. Broke all the way down through all three targets that we actually had set. And we actually went about to that 98 almost level. So that target that we are calling out a couple weeks ago actually came to fruition. So we are sitting pretty good here for the live. We came down, hit our target that we were looking for. So the market has some room to kind of climb out of here, or at least head sideways for a little bit and get some momentum to continue to the upside. We will have that recap coming out at 10 if you guys are interested in learning a little bit more about what we were looking at yesterday or thinking about. Check that out. It'll kind of cover all of that and then more with some extra little tidbits of TA and stuff like that. So great place to learn more about it. Spirit Maker does those for us. So if you want to learn something, go check that out at 10. But yeah, good market move yesterday. Good for us. Yeah, nice little drop here. We're just gonna go ahead and start up our battle box here and get everything started for the day. Kind of get everything set up. See where we're at for today. See if we can call today's move as well. So head on over to our battle box GPT here. If you guys are interested in using this, there's a link in the description. So check that out if you would like to use our battle box for yourself. But basically, we'll just start it off by clicking the leftmost refill thing. And that'll just tell us what we need to do to generate our daily market review. So most of what we have to do is get some screenshots of 4 hour, 1 hour, 15, and 5. You can take it quad view or just individual charts, depending on what level of trading view you have. We'll show it. We try to show it for the cheapest level of trading view. There's might be some areas where we mess up, but you guys can just let us know in the comments if you're not able to do something we have on here. But we got these 4 screenshots. We gotta get the FRBP levels, and then 30-minute high and low for the candle, and then last but not least, we'll get that macro news screenshot. But we're actually probably gonna start with that just because it's easy to get to. So if you are interested in getting the news for any day, you can just open up Google, head to cryptocraft.com. I already opened it up for today, but cryptocraft.com, that's what we're looking for. And then over here on the left, there's a little calendar, and you can go ahead and click on today. So today we got ISM PMI services at 9. So that's something we'll have to watch out for. Not right now, but about 30 minutes from now, so 8:30 to about 9:30 is probably some time to watch out for. We also had some news at 7:15, so now till probably 9:30 is probably a time you want to be a little more cautious on how you're trading, just because of the different news events here coming out. What we'll do here though is we'll just take a screenshot. My bad. Take a screenshot here, and we'll just paste that into the GPT here. So we'll go back here, and that'll be our first screenshot in there. So just a nice little screenshot of the news, so the battle box can see it there. And then we're gonna head on and start doing some of the trading view things. So we'll close up our Google here and head to trading view. And these are super easy. So what I like to do is shut off the things from my chart. So you can either close them out or go to the object tree and hide them all. I believe you can hide them from clicking on them too. Yeah. Yeah, so if you click on, if you don't have the object tree open, you can just click on the thing, go to the three dots, and then click hide. You will have to open the object tree to see it again, I believe, unless you're just going to use the eye over here. But you'll end up seeing all of your lines again. So if you want to turn specific ones on, you'll have to open up the object tree. It's pretty easy. It's over here on the right, and there's a little box icon below the clock, and that's exactly what you're looking for. That will open up the object tree so you can click on the different things. We do have a video covering how to fully use it and on our channel, so if you're interested in learning more about it, go check that out, and that'll teach you all you need to know about using the object tree, at least how we use it. So I'm going to start off with that 4 hour. So what I do is I just click on the 4 hour, double click the chart so you have it autoed. You can also click, there's a little A right down here on where the price is for the stock. Right down on the bottom there's a little A. You can go ahead and click that. That'll also auto it. And then I like to zoom out just a little bit so you can kind of get a little bit of that history price action. And then we'll do the same thing for all our indicators. So double click, double click, double click. And now we have a nice chart set up with some history, and we can kind of just see it all we really need to know. So we'll just go ahead and take a screenshot here of this. And that will be our first screenshot for today. And now we're just going to go down through the levels, taking screenshots and posting them on to our GPT. One hour, 15 minute. Last but not least, we're going to that 5 minute. And I'm actually going to move that out of the way. Alright, there we go. So you got all of our different time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 and 5 minute. Next up, we'll get those FRVP levels. So the thing is with these is with that recent time change, they are a little bit different than if you watched the stream even last week or a couple weeks ago. We do have a little bit of difference, so we have to move the times an hour back, and that will change. Not really a lot, but just for us setting up it kind of is something you have to just pay attention to, make sure you get the hour behind and not do the normal time. So for this, we'll head to that 1 hour, and then we're going to go over to our tools over here on the left. You're going to go to that crosshair and then go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and click over on there and go to volume base, fixed range, volume profile. This is the tool that we'll use for this. So basically what we'll do is we're going to go to yesterday, so the 4th, and then we're going to go back to well, it's 12 UTC. If you look down at the bottom right of your screen, you should have your time zone. So we're in UTC -6. So all we have to do is -6 from 12. That'll give us 6 o'clock. So 6 in the morning, that's where we're going to start our line. Here in Texas, you can go ahead and change the time based off that, or you can just go ahead and change your time. Here, if you click down on the bottom right, you can just change it to UTC. And then that way you can just use 12 to 12. Nice and simple, nice and easy. You never have to change it. Honestly, not a bad way to go. If you're using the battle box will use UTC just so we don't have any more farther problems of like like trying to figure out what time zone you're in or like that kind of stuff. You can just go ahead and use UTC time. I like to have mine set to my time frame now, so I'm just going to -6 from it. Once you get that up though, we're going to go 6 to 6, nice and easy, for here in Texas at least. And then we're going to go ahead and turn on our 24-hour lines. If you don't already have lines like this, you can go ahead and hit Alt and J. That will throw a horizontal ray just like this onto your chart, and you can go ahead and click it and then click settings, and you can change the style, text, all that kind of good stuff. So whatever you want. And you can also go up here to the top and change the name to whatever you want. And then when you look over here on your object tree, it'll pop up like that as well. But I already have my lines drawn on here. I have them all set up. So I like to have mine purple. I got the different ones labeled. So I can just drag and drop them nicely, and you can tell which one's which basically at just a glance. So same thing, we'll just go ahead and drop it there, drop them onto the levels. Red is going to be your volume area high, POC is going to be your yellow, and then your blue one will be your volume area low. If you don't know what those stand for, volume area high is, or VAH is your volume area high, and POC is your point of control, and then your volume area low is the bottom one here, the VAL. Yeah, so we'll just set those up just like that, and that sets it up to where we can go over to our GPT and fill them in. So one thing I like to do here is just say, first I type FRVP levels, and then I'll go down a couple lines and do 24-hour, and then I just type in the different levels, so volume area high, POC, and volume area low. And then I'll do the same thing for the morning, volume area high, POC, and volume area low. And then the last thing I like to type in here is 30-minute candle high and low. And if you don't know how to go down to the next level in here, it's shift and then enter. If you click enter, you'll actually end up sending it to the GPT, so make sure you're holding shift before you click enter. That way you just go to the next line rather than sending it in. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and paste our levels in here. So you got the volume area high, POC, and volume area low of the 24-hour. So we'll head back to our GPT here, and we're going to click on, go to settings. And there's actually two different ways you can do this. So the way I like to do it is use my object tree, and I'll show you that in a minute. But the best or the easiest way to do it, I guess, without using the object tree, is you just click on the line here and then click settings. You can also double tap the line, that'll open settings. And then you're going to go to coordinates, and that's the coordinates for our volume area high. So you can just copy and paste that right into our GPT. Same thing with the object tree, except for with the object tree, you don't have to kind of like line up your bounce on the line. You can go ahead and just open your object tree, find the line you want, and then just double click it, and it will open up the settings for you right away. Just a little bit simpler, I think. So you can do it whichever way you would like to do it, but that's the way that I like to do it. So I'm going to go down the line here, pasting my different levels in. Just nice and simple, nice and easy. Nothing too complicated. Alright, so there's all three of our 24-hour levels. And next up, we'll do those morning ones. So the morning ones are more or less the same kind of thing. You're going to change it up slightly, so we're going to go ahead and throw those on the chart right now. And then basically what you're going to do is, instead of 12 UTC back here, we're going to move it all the way up to 8 o'clock UTC, or for me that would be 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and click the back here where the little square or circle is, and move it up to 2 o'clock this morning. Just like that. And that'll be my morning levels here. So same thing, just click and drag. Red is volume area high, yellow is POC, and blue is your volume area low. We'll just click and drag, click and drag. You don't have to get these perfect. I say it on here all the time, but basically, if you get it close enough, the support and resistance, which is essentially what we're making here. Support being levels below price action and resistance being levels above price action. By putting these, well, right now technically they are 3 levels of support on here. They are actually zones, so not every support or resistance is going to be like exactly on your line that you put it on. It could be more of a zone. So that's kind of, it's not that, you don't have to worry about it that much, I guess, whenever you're putting the lines down. You don't have to be super exact. As long as you get them pretty close, they should be fine. They'll be close enough. So same thing for this, though. We'll just double click, copy, and put it into our warning levels. And the cool thing about this too is it saves where you are in the settings. So once you've done it once, every time that you open the settings, until you change it, I guess, is just going to be your coordinates tab. So you can always just press Control-C. You don't have to like highlight the number every single time. Makes it a little simpler. All right, heading back to trade view, we got all of our different lines in there now. We're ready to go for the GPT. Now we're going to go ahead and turn off our FRP levels here. And we're going to get that 30-minute candle high and low. So the way that you do this, you go to that 30-minute. The 730 candle is what we're after. So if you hover over that up at the top part of your screen under where it says Kubroto on my screen, there's an H and an L with some numbers next to them. Those are going to be your high and your low. That is a place you can get it. You can also try double clicking and holding on the second click. That should open up a window like this. It doesn't work for everybody from what we've kind of experienced with. Still not sure how you turn that on or off. But you can also click over here on object tree. There's this nice thing next to it called the data window. If you click on that up there, that'll open up this page, and so you can see I got my high and my low right here. I think this is the simplest way to do it, and it's easier to read than the little numbers at the top of your screen. So we'll just go ahead and hover over it, and we got 103.202 is our high. So 103.202, and then our low will be 102.305. Just like that. So now we got all of our different levels in here, and we're ready. So we'll just go ahead and send this in, and we'll see what the battle box has to say about today. What's the DMR looking like? If you've never seen one of these before, essentially you got your different time frames with some TA next to all of them, some key levels of support, different trade strategies. You got the news in here. You got execution considerations, so things that might come up as you're trying to trade. So for example, a lot of times it's like, oh, there's news at this time, so make sure you're being careful or like lightening your positions, that kind of thing. That'll throw in there. Weekly zone reference, so it will try to guess what the weekly zones are. You can also input them in whenever you're doing the initial steps that we just finished. You can throw in your weekly FRBP levels, and that'll give you a little bit more info, a little bit better info, I guess, so you can kind of lock down a little bit more on what you're trading. But for us, we like to keep the live a little more simple. But if you're interested in doing that, you can also just ask the GPT how to do it, and it'll let you know. But it will try to guess for now, so those are probably good enough, but not something we really have to worry about. And then last, you got the different levels for today, different things you can throw on your chart if you are interested. Typically, the breakout and breakdown trigger do line up with the volume area high and volume area low. It kind of depends on which ones a lot of times. So like today, the 24-hour volume area high is the breakout, and then the morning one is the breakdown. So kind of throws it off a little bit because a lot of times it is the morning volume very high, morning volume very low. Sometimes it's not, so you just gotta kind of watch that if that's what if you're not gonna put them on the chart like that. I want to make sure you're kind of looking at this to make sure you know which one's which. But yeah, we're just gonna start with going through the time frames. I kind of read off this, and then we'll kind of do a little bit more TA on the time frames as we go through them. So we're gonna head to that 4 hour here. Start with this one. The 4 hour. So the buy box says that BTC continues corrective recovery from the 99K low. Price is still below that 21 SMA and the 200 SMA, confirming higher time frame bearish control. Momentum oscillators are currently upwards from oversold, showing the first rebound attempt at a strong sell wave after a strong sell wave. Looks like today's going to be a bounce day. Student Maker says good target would be the 4 hour 21 SMA. Nice. So he's thinking we're going to be looking at this line here. This is the 4 hour 21. It's at 105, almost 106, essentially 106 even. That's probably a pretty good target, especially because 106 would be a what we call a big fat round number. So typically on price like this, whenever you hit a number like that, there is at least somewhat of resistance at the numbers, because mentally for people, they just look and they're like, oh man, we're almost near 106, we need to sell, even though I don't know, it's just like a mental thing for people. So odds are, like, when you get near a big round number, that's kind of when you start to see some of that resistance, I guess, in price or support if you're going down. Other than that, what we got on here. So we see got a breakdown here. We hit that 98K level, and now we're kind of seeing somewhat a flag forming, a little bit of a bounce, possible continuation here. Typically, that's what these kind of flags do. So you'd see, based off of that flag, you'd see something like a 95K level, continuation down. Will that happen? I don't know. We'll have to see how we bounce today. If we actually end up continuing that flag, or possibly even making a better one. We'll see. MACD wise, we are losing some of that momentum here. You can see the different moving averages are actually starting to curl to the upside. RSI is way oversold. So we have a lot of room to move up on that one on the 4 hour. And stochs are also climbing. Stochs aren't super accurate here on these longer time frames, but it is kind of nice that it agrees with price action and the rest of the indicators. So not anything to bank. It's not something to bank stuff on, but that's definitely a nice indicator there that the other two are setting up the same as stochs. So all things looking up on the 4 hour at least. Well, all things except for that one pattern. So pretty good on that 4 hour. Moving on to that 1 hour. The battle box says prices testing the 21 SMA, approaching a cluster of descending MAs, the 50, 100, and 200. Momentum is proving, but the 200 overhead at 108K remains a clear structural lid. MACD crossover positive, but still sub-zero, rebounding inside the downtrend. All right. So we got that breakdown here, just like we were talking about in the other chart. We actually came up and broke through the 21 on this sign, so that is a pretty bullish, not like 100% bullish, but that is a more bullish sign, because typically what you'll see if we can continue staying above this is the 21 will kind of curl up, something like that, and you'll see this 200 kind of come down, and we'll make this pretty big flag here, forming to the really, this is a 50-50 pattern, but kind of forming sideways, and more than likely you'll see that break up to the upside. So it's just kind of TA there, so we'll stay above it there, especially have this nice hook here, and that'll make some good support for us to continue on. Will we be able to push up through everything and make that flag? We'll have to continue to watch and see, but that's kind of what we're looking at. You got MACD crossed over. We're going to the upside. We did lose a little bit of momentum here on this candle, but it still has not closed yet, so we got another 30 minutes or so before that one closes. So it's still a lot of time to continue to flip it to dark green again, continue the upside. MACD is sub-zero, so that means it's below this line here, this middle line. Not a huge deal. Looking still some room to go up is essentially what that means. RSI is also kind of in the same boat. We're below that 50 level, continuing to the upside. No sign of a turn as of right now. And then stochs are kind of sitting here at the top. Not anything to worry about really either, because we are still on the longer time frames. So like I said earlier, stochs not super accurate on the longer time frames, but just so we can keep an eye on it, is up at the top. Looking to start that down run. Don't think it'll really affect price action. It could just sit up here for a little bit. I don't know. We'll have to kind of watch and see what happens with that one. Moving on to the 15-minute here. The battle box says that BTC is pushed above the 21 SMA and the 200. Flipping short term, it hasn't flipped. It actually hasn't gone above 200 yet, but the battle box thinks it has for whatever reason. Flipping short term bias to bullish. Two recent closes have held above the 24-hour POC. I don't know if that's true either. Oh yeah, that's true. Satisfying the model's two close rule for early confirmation of a micro breakout. All right. So we got two closes above our breakout zone, which is that 24-hour volume area high. You could use the morning volume area high as well. They are actually pretty close today. You can see we kind of like broke around in here, and then we ended up just breaking out just recently. So we're looking for that pullback to that volume area high before we continue higher. You can see that we are actually above that 21, and you can see that 21 is curling to the upside, and the 200 is coming down to make a nice little flag here. So we'll see if that can play out today, if we can stay on that flag and then possibly get a breakout to the upside. MACD wise, we are losing some momentum here. You can see we're dark green, and now we're kind of flipping to that more of that light green color. So we'll be able to kind of flatten out and flip to the upside. We'll see. RSI, we same kind of situation. We're actually getting near to that overbought zone, so looking to flip down to the downside. We are above the 50 is what that means basically. So if we see that start to flip, then we'll be looking at some more down price action. Maybe break back into our pattern, our volume area high, volume area low areas here. Kind of bounce around in here, see if we can get more of an upgrade a little bit later. Make some kind of build up some momentum before we head up. Stochs are also telling us that we're getting ready to drop here, break down. And we still got quite a bit of room on those. They got the whole section here all the way down. Moving on to that 5-minute. So for the 5-minute, the battle box says that local trend remains constructive. Price is above both the 21 and 200. That's true on this one. Stochastics are recently peaked at 77. Applying a short-term reset may be needed before continuation. So that's kind of what we were saying on the 15-minute. There, same kind of thing. We're seeing that downtrend start on the stochs. So we're looking for somewhat of a minor pullback, at least, maybe more. The 5 minutes actually almost already down there, or is already down there in the oversold range. So oversold on the RSI just means our stoch RSI, It just means that we are below this green zone here that's kind of in the middle. When you're below it, you're oversold. When you're above it, you're overbought. It basically just means that the market is getting kind of extended, so we're looking to kind of retract and back the other way. So right now we're oversold, so we're looking more to retract back to that, at least into that overbought kind of zone. We're getting up there past that 50 level in the middle. Other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. There is a little bit of a flag kind of forming here. But there also is some bearish div here. If you're looking for that, small little bearish div. Oh. Got an uptrend here, kind of flat here, so that would be some divergence. Anytime that price is different on the chart than it is, our price action is different on the chart than it is on the indicator, then that's where we're looking for that divergence. That's what that is called. If it's on the top, like if the highs are where the divergence is, then it'll be a bull bearish. It'll be a bearish trend, and if the lows are different than the RSI, then that means it's a bullish trend. So either way, we're looking more bearish, at least for right now. We're looking for more of a downtrend. 15 minutes is calling. We're going to continue dropping for at least a little bit. We'll see how far. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and make that battle plan for today, and we'll see where we're at, and then that'll be kind of it for the stream today. And that's kind of set up for today. We'll be back tomorrow to set it up again, see what's happening. But yeah, let's make that battle plan and see kind of what the battle box is thinking about just trading today. Again, this is not for financial advice, it's only for educational purposes only, but we want to see what the battle box is thinking. Let's make a battle plan. And one cool thing with the battle box that we added recently is the ability to make the battle plan more trainable. So the typical battle plan will kind of look like this, where it kind of teaches you a little bit about the stuff, but it kind of also assumes that you know a lot about it. So if you don't know as much, or you're just starting TA and stuff like that, if you want to learn more, you can go ahead and instead of saying let's make a battle plan, you can say let's make a trainable battle plan or a training battle plan. And it will go ahead and make the battle plan same as we see it here, except for it'll add some more detail and kind of help you out, help you kind of see through it. The other cool thing about it being AI and not just like a resource, I guess, is the fact that you can actually ask this question. So if you're not sure about anything on either the DMR or this report here, you can go ahead and just ask the battle box. It should be able to give you a pretty good answer on either how to do whatever you're trying to do or why it even matters that you're doing it, stuff like that. So yeah, check that out. But you can see we already got some here on the regular one. We got some different descriptions on kind of what the zones are here and why they even matter. And then below that we got the go no go checklist. So this is kind of where what we're looking at if we're going to take a trade, this is what kind of has to happen before we take it. So the long scenario, we got 2 15-minute candles close above 101.7. We already got that. Price is above the 21 and 200 SMA on the 15. So that's actually not true. We don't have that one yet. Excuse me. And we must hold above 102K on pullback for structure integrity. Interesting. So I don't know if we'll get that held there unless we flip right now, because the searches are looking pretty down, and we just got that cross on the RSI, and that has a lot of room to move down. So does MACD. So I'm thinking we break down a little bit farther, at least go sideways down into this volume area high before we flip it and go up. But that's kind of what we got to get, though, is that two closes above, retest in the 5 minute, and retest's got to stay above 102, and we'll get that breakout. So that's kind of what it's looking for today. No shorts unless we see that price break down below the volume area low. So unless we see the current kind of setup here break down and come back into this zone, and then we see that volume area low get broke, same thing, 15 minute, two closes, retest on the 5 minute, we'll take it down. In that case, we'd take it down to that 24-hour volume area low. There would be our first target, and then I guess we'd kind of have to see from there. I'm sure the battle box has some on here. Yeah, so it's thinking this 99K is the lowest that it will probably go if we do get that breakout. If we get the breakup, the first target would be at 104.2, so right here. And then the next target would be 105.9, right there. The one thing is, oh, nice. Okay, so that 105.9, it will be right on that 21 there. So that is pretty much perfect. As we climb up, we'll basically be watching it on that 21 on the 4 hour. It's a big line in the sand, like Spirit Maker was talking about today. Yeah, that's kind of it for the battle box. So that's what we're looking at. More than likely, we're looking for that up move today. Not 100% though, we could always break down. So you got to be watching for that. Basically, just trade what the chart tells you to trade. You don't take trades just because you think it's going to go up or go down. You're taking the trade because the chart told you it's going to go up or go down. That's what we're trying to teach you with the battle box. Trying to show you how to do that. Trying to give you tools to be able to do that. That's what we're here for. But yeah, other than that, that's kind of what we're watching for today. That's what we're looking at for the trades. Yeah. Hopefully y'all have a good day. Make sure you check out that recap coming out at 10. Look to our X account. We'll have the levels from the live stream coming out. So if you didn't want to go run your own battle box, you can go ahead and just check out our X account. We'll have all the levels on there posted with a little bit of a rundown, kind of like we just did in this video, but a little bit more in depth. If you want to, yeah, just boost your trading knowledge, check that out. You could also just use it for like trading today, I guess. Yeah. Happy trading, y'all, and we will see y'all tomorrow at 8 a.m.